freedom-loving people. Welcome to another episode of Front Page. I am your host, Scott Cameron Goulet. Despite there being only 9 days left in President Trump's presidency, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's announcement that he is lifting self-imposed restrictions on U.S. engagement with Taiwan officials has opened the door for top-level U.S. visits to Taiwan. Big tech giants unite to block President Trump and his supporters, sparking international backlash. Twitter's stock price tumbled as much as 12% on Monday after the social media company permanently suspended President Trump's account. Okay, before we get into it, please join us on YouMaker. Click the YouMaker link below, and that way we can stay in touch. YouMaker will be the new YouTube. Again, it's called YouMaker. Now, here's our first story today. Republican Representative Alex Mooney on Monday blocked Democrats from introducing a resolution via unanimous consent to call on Vice President Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove President Trump. Mooney said Pelosi should not attempt to adopt a resolution of this magnitude without any debate on the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives, noting that it is wrong to have sent members of Congress home and then try to adopt, without any debate, a precedent-setting resolution that could imperil our republic. The U.S. House must never adopt a resolution that demands the removal of a duly elected president without any hearings, debate, or recorded votes. Representative Tom Emmer, the head of the campaign arm for House Republicans, added, "It is a politically motivated effort by Nancy Pelosi and House Democrats that will fracture our nation even more instead of bringing us together." There are only 9 days left of President Trump's first presidency, and Republicans have urged Democrats to let President Trump complete his first term. Next up, President Trump declared that an emergency exists in the District of Columbia and ordered federal assistance to supplement the district's response efforts due to the emergency conditions resulting from the 59th presidential inauguration from January 11th to January 24th, 2021. The President authorized the Department of Homeland Security and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, to coordinate all disaster relief efforts. The purpose of these efforts is to alleviate the difficulties and suffering caused by the emergency to local residents. Specifically, FEMA has the right to determine, mobilize, and provide the necessary equipment and resources as appropriate to mitigate the impact of the emergency. Emergency protection measures are limited to direct federal assistance, and 100% of the federal funds will be provided. The director of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, of the Department of Homeland Security, Pete Gaynor, appointed Thomas J. Forgione as the federal coordinator responsible for federal recovery operations in the affected areas. Last night, Facebook issued a statement saying it was removing content containing the phrase "Stop the Steal" ahead of the inauguration day on January 20th. The social media company said that the move is an attempt to remove content that could incite further violence during these next few weeks. Now, let's talk about the tech giants who are uniting to block President Trump and his supporters, sparking international backlash. Australia's acting Prime Minister, Michael McCormack, has criticized social media giant Twitter for banning U.S. President Donald Trump from its platform. McCormack told ABC Radio on Monday that it was not up to big tech to decide whose voices are heard. "I don't believe in that sort of censorship," he said. "There's been a lot of people who have said and done a lot of things on Twitter previously that haven't received that sort of condemnation or indeed censorship." German Chancellor Angela Merkel believes that banning President Donald Trump from Twitter is problematic. She said through her spokesperson that freedom of opinion is an essential right of elementary significance. This fundamental right can be intervened in, but according to the law and within the framework defined by legislators, not according to the decision made by management of social media platforms, the spokesperson said. Seen from this angle, the Chancellor considers it problematic that the accounts of the U.S. President have now been permanently blocked. Clement Biot, the junior minister for the European Union Affairs, said he was shocked that a private company made this kind of decision. This should be decided by citizens, not by a CEO, he told Bloomberg TV on Monday. There needs to be public regulation of big online platforms. French Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire also condemned the move and said that tech giants were part of a digital oligarchy that was a threat to democracy. Manfred Weber, the leader of the European People's Party, wrote on Twitter yesterday that we cannot leave it to American big tech to decide how we can or cannot discuss online. Today's mechanisms destroy the compromise searching and census building that are crucial in free and democratic societies. We need to stricken regulatory approach. Meanwhile, Norway's left-wing Labour Party leader, Johan Gahr Støre, said that big tech censorship threatens political freedom around the world.
But we wanted to see if these people would put their money where their mouth is because they protest the government. They want the government to bring in refugees, so not KG.
He said Twitter needs to apply the same standard globally that it did to President Trump. This is the line where freedom of expression is also at stake, said Støre. If Twitter starts with this sort of thing, it means that they have to go around the world and look at other people completely astray and shut them out. UK Reform Party leader Nigel Farage posted a tweet on January 8th that said, shocked that the US president has been closed down by Twitter. Not attending the inauguration is hardly encouraging violence. Free speech must win. And on January 9th, he tweeted again saying, censorship from big social media and vindictiveness from the Democrats could backfire terribly. Trump is the voice of tens of millions of Americans. Martyr him, and far worse will follow. Farage is known as a prophet and promoter in British politics. He was the first to propose withdrawal from the European Union, and with the power of a small party, ended up getting the UK out of the EU. His next political goal is to get Britain out of the control of the Chinese Communist Party. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton on Saturday vowed to fight big tech censorship with everything he's got. He tweeted, Twitter, Facebook closing conservative accounts, Google shutting down Parler, Apple threatening to do the same. Big tech hates free speech. As we enter the Biden era, they stand ready, willing to be the left's Chinese-style thought police. As AG, I will fight them with all I've got. According to Market Insider, Twitter's stock price tumbled as much as 12% on Monday, January 10th, after the social media company permanently suspended President Trump's account on Friday, January 8th. President Trump had 88 million followers on Twitter. Market Insider said, investors are worried the President Trump ban will erode interest in the platform and lead to boycotts among those who see the decision as politically motivated and a way to silence a major conservative voice. Fox News also reported, Twitter bans Trump, but Iranian Ayatollah Louis Farrakhan, Chinese propagandist, still active, and Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro is among those with active accounts. The Financial Times also published an article with the headline, Twitter versus Trump. Has big tech gone too far? Now, let's see what President Trump's administration is doing under attack and ostracism from the left. With a little more than a week before the presidential inauguration, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's announcement that he is lifting self-imposed restrictions on U.S. engagement with Taiwan officials has opened the door for top-level U.S. visits to Taiwan. You might be wondering, is this important? What does it have to do with us? This has little to do with our daily lives, but it is very important to the people of Taiwan. The lifting of U.S. restrictions on the U.S.-Taiwan relationship means that the U.S. has treated Taiwan as an independent country And that relationship between the two sides will no longer be limited to the non-governmental exchange. The significance and influence of this move by the United States are far-reaching. The Chinese Communist Party has been marginalizing Taiwan internationally and suppressing Taiwan's diplomatic opportunities. In a Biden era, the possibility of the CCP attacking Taiwan would have been very high. Therefore, the lifting of U.S. restrictions on the U.S.-Taiwan relationship provides huge protection for Taiwan. If the Chinese Communist Party were to use force against Taiwan, it would be an invasion of another country. And the United States would definitely help, and other countries who are friendly to Taiwan and who uphold justice would possibly step in to help Taiwan as well. That is to say, it is becoming increasingly difficult for the Chinese Communist Party to unify Taiwan by force. Pompeo said in a statement on January 9th that Taiwan is a vibrant democracy and reliable partner of the United States. And yet for several decades, the State Department has created complex internal restrictions to regulate our diplomats, service members, and interaction of other officials with their Taiwanese counterparts. The United States government took these actions unilaterally in an attempt to appease the communist regime in Beijing. No more. In response to Pompeo's announcement, Taiwan's Foreign Minister Joseph Wu tweeted his gratefulness. Presidential Office spokesperson Chang Tun-Han also expressed his gratitude to the U.S. and said he would continue to deepen the Taiwan-U.S. relationship. Okay, this is our show for today. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to join us on YouMaker. And again, if you like what you heard today, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Again, thank you for tuning in to Front Page, and we will see you next time.